I appreciate you tuning in and downloading or streaming Conversations and Connections. We're the official podcast of the Family Crisis Center of East Texas. As always, Stuart Burson with you on the show today. So if you haven't noticed, if you're out and about, I know at least in Lufkin, and I'm sure it's just like this in Nacogdoches as well, you definitely know that school's underway now. The traffic always increases. I know in Nacogdoches, SFA is getting underway, and I know I've had some coworkers talk about that they can notice the traffic increase because the university is in session again. So just watch out for the school buses and everything like that. I think I mentioned maybe in the last podcast that, I used to always do the after school program in Lufkin, and unfortunately they lost funding, or rather the grant ran out, and they didn't get any new grant money for that. But it looks like I am going to be doing some stuff over at Diboll ISD this year with their middle school and high school, at least. Doing some things with throughout the year. They're doing something really cool where they are taking several days at the middle school and the high school throughout the school year, and the teachers are going to go and do something on their own, and the school district is bringing in community partners in for the school day to do presentations to the students all day long, and that's several days throughout the school year. So I think that's really cool. Also, I am going to be doing some things at some daycares. I got one daycare in particular that I'll be at on a weekly basis, and then I have a couple of other daycares right now that I believe we're going to be doing some things on a quarterly basis over there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And, while I have your ear, if you know of any group of students or young people or even adults that would like to, that you think would benefit from having presentations about healthy relationships and friendships and consent and bullying and gender roles, anything to do with healthy relationships, get in touch with me, because, that's my job, and that's what I love to do. I love doing presentations to kids and adults about these things. So whether they're little children all the way up to high schoolers, college students, adults, let me know if you have any ideas or if you know of a group that would benefit from these presentations. So also, planning's well underway for our Passion for Purple luncheon, the annual Passion for Purple. That's going to be on Thursday, October the 8th. Tickets are now available. The Passion for Purple luncheon will be October 8th, like I said, at 11:30 a.m. at the Pitzer Garrison Civic Center. Our keynote speaker is Melissa Dome Hill, and I know we have had Mallory on here talking about our speaker and the significance of why we're having her. So look her up. And if you are interested in attending, remember, all the money raised for Passion for Purple goes to helping victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. Individual tickets are $50. You can get a reserved table for $500, and it escapes me right now how many seats are at a table. I don't know if it's 6 or 8. But if you want tickets or more information, you can call Mallory Harris, and I'm just going to give you our hotline number because you can get a hold of her through that. That's 1-800-828-7233. And get your tickets before they're all gone. Remember, it's lunch. It's an awesome keynote speaker. And again, proceeds go towards survivors and victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. My guest today is Noah Padgett. He's our legal advocate at our Nacogdoches office. Noah has been on the show before, but it's been a while. And I wanted Noah to come on to the show just to talk about his job, what's the latest in the Nacogdoches office, what his duties are as a legal advocate, And I always find it interesting to talk to my male coworkers about their experiences working here at the Family Crisis Center because, and again, I'm sure we're going to talk about this, the majority of our clients are women, although we do serve men, and what it's like being a male employee in a agency that is mostly female and that serves mostly female clients. So here is my coworker, Noah Padgett. Was it that you've been on the podcast last? How long ago was that?
Golly, I mean, that was probably when I first started here, so had to have been at least 3 years ago.
Well, that's what I was trying to think. That's when I still actually went to the Nacogdoches office and brought everything with me.
We were in the conference room.
I was still a little portable then. I could still do that if I needed to. Sure. I would just rather not do that. So I want to start things off a little bit. We are recording this mid-August, a week where Monday was National Thrift Store Day. Mm-hmm. And Noah, with your what is your degree in? What do you have a degree in?
Criminal justice, specification in law.
Okay, so with your criminal justice degree. Mm-hmm. Tell me, where does being a clown fit into that?
I'd say very far left field. Like, if I had to be honest.
If you don't know, the reason I'm saying that, for National Thrift Store Day, it was kind of an all hands on deck thing where a lot of us were at one of the thrift stores. We had a table, we were doing popcorn, we had giveaways, mm-hmm. and it was our illustrious leader's idea to have a clown at both stores. Now, you weren't wearing the face paint or anything like that. This was like an inflatable,
big old inflatable, like the clown was doing a handstand the entire time.
Yeah, but you were recruited.
I was
to do that. So, and I guess it's one of those things where, hey man, I'll do, what does job descriptions say these days? Other duties as assigned.
Yeah, that was definitely an as assigned duty. I can agree with you there.
But you were a good sport. Of course, you've been the Easter Bunny.
Oh gosh, I've been the Easter Bunny. I think Easter Bunny and the clown are the two.
Or that the only? Has that been the only?
They haven't put me on Santa just yet.
Yeah, I usually draw Santa Day, but anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Oh, it was a great time.
Having our criminal justice degreed legal advocate
be a clown,
walk around in the Nacogdoches thrift store with the clown outfit. And one thing I also want to talk about with Noah is you're one of the few coworkers that I feel like I can nerd out on.
Oh, definitely.
Excuse me. And talking video games and stuff. I can talk a little bit about with Will, but you're really the only person that I can. Hey, have you heard about this? Have you played this? Have you tried this? And things like that. What are you playing these days?
So far, I think the most recent game I've been taking a liking to is Lego Batman.
Okay.
I was a Lego kid all my life, and so whenever those Lego games started coming out, I was all about them. And
yeah, but that's on my wish list. I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I usually load up my wish list and then have it notify me if something goes on sale or something.
Exactly, and I got it for mine too.
But and you're the one that kind of. I heard about the James Bond game.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But I didn't know that much about it, and you were so excited about it. I think we were at Safe Summer Break. We were talking about that for a little bit, and so anyway, I kind of got that based on what you were talking about, and I looked more into it. But
that was a fun game. I really enjoyed that one.
But yeah, a lot of the folks around here, I'm not going to be able to talk about such important things with. Well, what I know, me and you and Will. I'm trying to think of all of the men who work at the crisis center, and that's me, you, and Will and Greg,
Then the two maintenance guys.
and Joseph, and oh my
Lord
God.
have mercy.
And no disrespect to that guy, I can't think of his name right now. He's kind of new, but and I don't see him that much. And oh my gosh, his name was on the tip of my tongue. But I guess we're the only
guys.
the only men that are here right now at the crisis center. What do you think about being one of the few men working at here, as far as the overall mission of what the agency does? I'll kind of tell you my thoughts on it, but I kind of wanted to know what you thought about being a male in this line of work and working for an agency like the Crisis Center.
Man, it's interesting to say the very least. With being at a place of this level, I never expected it because of you're here for the victims, the survivors, the ones that you can help out, and then being a male in that position when a majority of our clientele is female, it's interesting. I've only ran into a specific situation once where someone did not want to have a male advocate, which is completely understandable for the situation that they're going through. But then, since then, I mean, every survivor I come into contact with, they love it. They love having a male that they can trust and knowing that they're going to help them.
Well, and I guess that's kind of what I was getting at. I just think it's a really neat thing to be a male in this line of work. And it's almost like you're presenting yourself like, look, I'm a male, but I am going to support victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And let me say that with it being said that men can be victims too. I'm not saying that this is a 100% woman thing, but you got to be realistic too. And most of our clients are women.
Yeah.
But even when I go out and do prevention work, and here's a man talking about consent and talking about being respectful and gender roles and things like that. And you as a male going out to you're on call a lot of times when you go out as a sexual assault advocate, right?
For SANs or IPVs, yep.
And I just think that's good to have men represented.
Exactly.
And to show that role. That's why I like when you go like to the TASA conference or to TCFV that when we go to these, it's probably 75%, 80% male, maybe at these things. So it's like to see the other men there
that are a part of this.
Yeah, exactly. But I've always took a little pride in the fact that I am a man and still yet representing, I guess I'll say it, just almost feminist
it's 1,000%
ideas and attitudes.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
So being a legal, well, let me go back a little bit because you mentioned this. How were you received as being a man when you meet a client for the first time?
Every single client differs, of course. You have some that are like immediately wanting to talk, wanting to get their services done, wanting to figure out what legal routes they can go down. And then there's some who are just so, it's like, oh, is this guy just putting on a front like I've been used to in the past? Have I seen it I've seen it before? And so I think that's the big thing that they see is that it's a male. And more times than not, like there is woman on woman violence, man on man violence. So it's completely understanding that everyone goes through this kind of, or not everyone, but people that go through domestic violence are not just man and woman.
Yeah.
So how they, it just varies. It really does.
Yeah. I know you said you only really had one incident where someone, and again, I'll be honest, I get it. I understand it, and I think you have to be respectful of
course,
of the client. Have you ever felt that you've had to win someone over, like they were a little doubtful or they kind of proceeded with caution with you, and then once they started working with you and everything, that they wound up being perfectly fine.
Yeah, no, I've definitely experienced that a good few times. They come in and they're expecting me to be Mr. Macho Man, Randy Savage, trying to be a man and trying to be a male. But then I really just break down their walls with kindness, with understanding, with showing them that I'm not just a guy. I'm someone who supports you. I believe you. I want to help you through this endeavor. I want to help you through this, sir, with whatever legal status you may need, whatever legal help I could provide.
Right.
But yeah.
And, and because of this, because I think of us being men and us serving men, those, I think a lot of people may know, I think I've mentioned this a time or two, but, that's why our agency changed its name years ago from the Women's Shelter of East Texas to the Family Crisis Center, because we do serve men.
We help everybody. Yeah.
And it's more, I think also, even when you're presenting yourself as a legal advocate or when I go out to do prevention and I'm talking to a fraternity or whatever, I think it's maybe a little bit more palatable to these guys he's from the women's shelter, so he's going to tell us everything that we're doing that is wrong, and which I kind of, but I think it's the way that you present it. When we get done recording, I do want to talk to you about an idea that I have for a project involving men later this year.
Interesting.
Of course, I'm teasing the listeners now. I think it's a 98% chance it's going to happen. I got the green light and the thumbs up from all those involved, and Will and I have been talking about it, but I do want to get you involved in a minute. But,
I'd love to.
And then, of course, I'll talk about it later on another episode of the podcast. So your official title is legal advocate, right? So what does that what does that entail?
So legal advocate, basically, the name speaks for itself. Anything within the legal world, like whether it be civil, anything civil. I don't necessarily focus on criminal law. That was passed, because we don't really help out with anything that a court-appointed attorney couldn't help them out with. So for legal advocacy, there is a multitude of things I can help with. The one thing that I really can do is I can't provide legal advice. So I can't tell them, well, according to penal code such and such and all this, you're going to be, this is what your outlook is going to be. It's mainly just going to be, hey, here are all of your options. One of these may be better than the other one, but I can't make that decision for you.
Do people sometimes want you to make the decision for them?
Every single day. Every single day.
And you're there to show up in court just to kind of, hey, I got your back.
I'm supporting
you. Go. I got you.
The main thing I always tell my clients is that, I'm not going to talk in court. I actually can't. But one thing, if you ever lock eyes with me in the courtroom, I'm going to do one thing, is remind you to breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess being in court is a very intimidating or scary experience for clients.
For someone who's never had to deal with the legal world before and then have to go up in front of a judge, in front of an opposing party with a person that you said you loved, and they're fighting them.
Their alleged abuser, I guess.
Right? And so, it's court is a little scary sometimes, but having the support of your legal advocate just really helps them show that someone's got my back, someone's going to help me through this.
Right. I want to talk a little bit. So, is that all you do? And I guess I'm trying to figure out a way to word this. Now, you're at our Nacogdoches office. You have a client that comes in. They have experienced some form of DV. And, hey, I know about the Family Crisis Center. Someone told me where they're at. I'm going to go talk to them. And they ring the buzzer. You let them in. Will you possibly be the first person they come into contact with to process them and to ask them what their needs are and things like that?
Yeah. I'm more times than not, I'm the first one to reach the doorbell when it goes off.
And I guess that's what I'm getting at. Your title, legal advocate, you really do more than just...
Oh, so much more.
That.
So,
really?
I have the legal advocacy, of course, where my main goal is, but then I have, I'll do intakes on clients that are coming into the office that need just to be, even if they don't want legal advocacy, I'm still going to do their intake. I'm still going to give them an advocate of, hey, you may not need anything legal from me, but if you need someone to help you out with housing, I can send that referral off to the person. They're not reaching out to 15, 25 different people trying to get something done when you can just reach out to one and have them do it for you. So I wear a lot of hats like that.
Right. Do you find that most clients that we bring in that seek our services, do you find that most clients need legal advocacy?
Yeah, I would say a majority of what we see is going to be wanting some sort of legal and then most likely counseling. Because with a trauma-focused counselor, they can get through the trauma that they've endured. But then legal, I mean, one of the biggest ones I see consistently is protection orders and divorces.
Well, and that's one of the things I was wanting to talk to you about. When you say legal advocacy and you think, well, okay, is it legal advocacy? Is this involve court proceedings involving an incident where they were being abused? Does it involve, what does it all involve? Because I think it's probably a little bit more in depth than what I just said.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, what it necessarily involves is, like I said earlier, supporting the client, showing them that we believe them, and that when they need help with a protection order, like so that they can ensure this person doesn't come within 200 yards of them. And if they do, they get a nice pair of silver bracelets to go to jail with. So it's the aspect of what their main focus is. Because sometimes they come in that they know, like, hey, like, he's leaving me alone. Or she's leaving me alone. That person is leaving me alone, and I don't necessarily need a protection order right now. But in the eyes of the law, we're married, and I don't want to have their name anymore. And so we'll do a divorce.
Right, and this, I guess that's what I was kind of leaning towards. It can be more than just protection orders. Mm-hmm. It can be, I guess, child custody.
Yep, 100%.
Things.
Name changes too.
Name changes and anything that.
Even like SAPSers or suit affecting the parent-child relationship, that's basically what a custody order is called.
Oh, okay.
It's a SAPSer. And so I do a good bunch of those. Like I said, I can never represent my clients, which it does suck a little bit not being able to be there next to them in the courtroom and talk for them to the judge, because I know the entire story. I know what the case is, but that's what they meet with me for. So they come and they do court prep, how to speak to the judge, how to hold yourself up in court, what to wear to court even. And then if they don't have that kind of functionality with, I don't have those clothes. I don't have, when I left, I just took the clothes in my back, a suitcase, and my car. So we can help them out with vouchers and get them some nice court clothes so that they are presentable.
When you mean vouchers, tell us what that is.
So like
I know what it is, but explain to listeners what you mean by a voucher.
So when they come into our offices for an intake, if they need helping with clothes, household items, shoes, even just anything and everything that they may not have in the specific moment, we have our thrift stores that are an absolute blessing for our agency that we will send out our clients to, and then they can get up to, I think, $40, maybe $50, and depending on the situation, sometimes more, of money that we can allot that they are given some stuff for free. So they can go in and get, like I said, clothing, household items, anything along those lines.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they're leaving a relationship with nothing. Absolutely nothing. You know, what they're wearing that day. And, and I don't think a lot of people realize, I mean, even, you know, clothes, underwear, household things, what have you, right?
And it adds up quick.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you know, that was just one of the things that I was kind of interested to know exactly. When you say legal advocacy, I think a lot of people think, you know, well, okay, they're talking about restraining orders or divorces, but there's a lot of other things that go along with that. So your education is in criminal justice.
Correct.
Ever any notion to pursue that more, I guess, than what you're doing now? Not saying that what you're doing now is not related to criminal justice, but have you ever thought about
like going to a lawyer, or
going into law, going into doing actual, you know, police work, law enforcement, and stuff like that?
Sure. I mean, when I first came to college, I was a criminal justice major with a specification in law enforcement, and I went through the school and the classes that it would take to work your way into the police academy.
Okay.
And I found out, that through, of course, with my professors that are ex-law enforcement, you kind of talk with them and get an idea of what really entails when it comes to law enforcement. Right. And as I learned more and more, I really learned that that's just not something I want to do every day. And so that kind of made me change I knew I wanted to stay in criminal justice because I love legal. I love law. I love the idea of it. I've always been a Law and Order, Criminal Minds, CSI as a kid.
I always wish, you could skip the police academy and getting shot at to be a detective.
Yeah, right? That'd be the best.
Or crime scene investigator, but you got to do all that other stuff too.
Got to have it, work your way up to the top.
You got to work the streets and be patrol
a cop
and all of that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I want to be the cool detective guy.
I want to be the plainclothes detective, that plays by his own rules.
Little door cap on. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, exactly. What do you like best about what you do?
What do I like best? Man, that's a great question. I mean, one of the main things that I truly enjoy is the companion, the people that I work with have been such a blessing, to be flat out, because it's not only shown me things that I didn't know how to do, but it's provided me with kind of like my own advocates. Like, I have people that believe me, that support me, that want to help me become the advocate they know I can become. Not that I don't feel like I'm already there, but it's the aspect of that. But when it comes to my job, the thing I love the most is seeing a client, and hear me out, seeing a client come in with nothing, with no color on their face, frowning, possibly even crying, to when they no longer need my services, they have all that color back in their face. They're divorced, they have a protection order, and they're the happiest that they can possibly be. And that's what makes the job for me.
Yeah. I've asked our SANE nurse this question, and I know I feel like I'm fortunate. I get to do a lot of the fun stuff. I get to go talk to kids. I get to go to the schools. I get to talk to the college students. I do presentations, and I do the podcasts, and I do the videos for YouTube and things like that. And there's people like you, and I'm not trying to discount that Kim has it rougher than our SANE nurse than you, but when you go out on a call as an advocate at 2:00 in the morning, I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. What does that mean? I mentioned being on call as a sexual assault advocate. It's 2 a.m, your phone rings. What does that usually mean?
So if the phone pops up and you go on call from so it's 7 days, 7 days on, and then however many advocates, which is 3.
And all you guys take turns. You take shifts for
it's a rotation,
a week at a time. I guess, right?
Thursday to Thursday usually. And so when we're out on, so like it can be 2 a.m, it can be 2 p.m. That phone rings. You got to pick up, figure out what's the situation. Like, is this a sexual assault or is this a domestic violence case? And then what location? Because I live in Nacogdoches, but I may need to trek over to Lufkin and get there within the hour if I have to. And so you figure out what the situation is, where you need to go, and you go. You get there with the nurse, helps them set up.
So you're going to an ER or a hospital.
Correct. Or if not them, the Herald's House.
Okay.
And Herald's House is our local office that does forensic interviews. They do they have the SANE rooms and has the SANE nurses there.
Okay.
But yeah, so then you go and you're just there for the survivor. You're there to show them like, hey, I'm here for you. I have your back. I believe everything you're saying, and I can help you with services. At 2 a.m, we can't necessarily provide the services, but we can get them in touch with the people who can at 8 a.m.
Well, you can, I guess, supply them with the information that they need.
Correct.
I guess.
Correct.
And things.
They get a whole packet that has all of our stuff, other community resources, what to do after this. So, yeah. Okay.
All right. So, and I guess what I'm getting at, when you have to go on call, are you ever in situations where it's a child?
No. So
Okay.
we don't ever go out on children.
Yeah.
Just per our grants and stuff.
And that's Harold's house. That's Harold House's.
That's their
realm, I guess you can say. But when you do this with even with an adult who's been a fresh victim
Sure.
of a domestic violence case, a sexual assault case. How many, when you're on call, what's the average per week? How many times do you have to go out?
I mean, I wish I could give you an answer on that, because we'll have some, like, I had a period of 3 on calls back to back, like not week to week back to back, but whenever I would go on call in the rotation, maybe 1, maybe 2, and that's a blessing. Not because I don't want to be, I don't want to be called out. I don't want to have someone have to go through the situation.
Well, right.
But then this most recent time I was on call, I got called out 1 time every single day, and then one day I was called out 3 times separately. So it ranges. It really, really ranges.
Do you get more calls, you think, on weekends, holidays, than you would on any other day of the week, do you think?
If I had to put like a number on it of like figuring out how many times I'm being called out or what time, it's almost always after hours. Like I'd say 9 p.m. past that you're getting called out.
I guess I'm just kind of thinking, what factor does that play into incidents of abuse?
Sure.
A weekend, a holiday, the time of day, things like that. And the whole reason I'm even getting into all of this was my original question was, do you ever have a hard time going home? Do you ever have to deal with taking work home with you, or are you able to compartmentalize this? And that was what I've asked, like, Kim before.
Sure.
Are you able to compartmentalize this, leave it aside,
Sure,
and go home to your wife and everything's normal?
Yeah, so more times than not, it's a little bit easier to compartmentalize and kind of get like, okay, this just happened, but this is not happening to me. I've helped them. I've given them all the resources that I can. I'm allowed to go home now. But then there are some that you'll run into that it's like, it just sits on your mind, and it really kind of just, it just permeates and just sits there, and it's like, it's not that you want to necessarily forget what's happened, but you want to be able to relax and be able to, take your time.
Well, and I'm not saying that, you don't have compassion and you don't, or treating these incidents so impersonal, I guess. But I think for your mental health and well-being, you do have to learn probably how to separate these things.
Definitely. I mean, that's a good skill to learn.
Well, and I've always wondered the same thing about, like I said, Kim, who's our SANE nurse, which she probably sees way more crap than you do.
Big time.
And then I think about, law enforcement. When they're, working some very sensitive cases and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're in Nacogdoches. And I know we talked about this at the beginning when we first started, but I just kind of want to circle back around. How important do you feel it is for men to be involved in this kind of work?
I think it's really important, just to show that not every man that you run into is going to be an offender, someone who's going to put their hands on someone in a way that they don't find acceptable.
An ass?
Yeah, there you go. That's a great way of putting it.
I think we can say that, okay. We won't go beyond that.
But yeah, so I mean, it's great to have that kind of representation to show them that not every guy's going to be an ass.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it's only happened to me. Of course, I mean, nobody has objected to me being a male. I've had, I think, a few times when people find out where I work. Oh.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten that too.
Y'all have men who work there, right? Oh, okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. All right. Noah Padgett. legal advocate, Nacogdoches office. Anything else going on before we wrap things up?
Not too much else going on other than just making it work and being there for the clients.
And Lego Batman.
All
right, go Lego Batman. All right, Noah, thanks a lot. As always, I appreciate it. And I always like to remind people, if you feel like you do need our services, we have our toll-free hotline. That's 1-800-828-7233. Be sure to subscribe to Conversations and Connections. If you like what you hear, we'd appreciate the like. And you can do that wherever you see your podcast or hear your podcast. You can do that via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. Remember, be the voice. If not for you, for someone else.